And welcome back to Sports the Nemo Way. This is Alex, and we're here to discuss Anthony Davis, who will be defended by Doug, Drew, and Wade. The 6'10", 253-pound power forward is a one-time champ, zero-time MVP. He's an 8-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, playing 9 years in the league after being the number 1 overall pick, with career averages of 24, 10, and 2 on 51% shooting. So that being said, Uncle Doug, what you got?
Okay. Usually I'm at my 9th or 10th spot. I'm pushing the old guys, but this time I went young guy. Anthony hasn't been around as long as some of the people we've talked about, obviously. I believe 8 seasons, or is this 9 now?
I think it's 9 seasons.
Okay. He came in 12-13, so.
Yeah, I haven't been 9.
Okay, 9.
Sorry.
Yeah, like I said, 8-time All-Star, 1 NBA title, All-Rookie team, 4 times All-NBA, 4 times All-Defense. I don't know about this year, of course. 3-time block champ. His peak points, he had a season of 28-1. Peak rebounded, he peaked out at 12. Assists 3.9 and blocks 2.9. If you look at totals, his totals, points is like 200, rebounds like 207. He just hasn't been around long enough. His assists, not really top 250. He is 51st in blocks. Having played so few seasons. But if you look at his averages, his point average comes out at 23, rebounds at 55. Again, assists aren't great. Blocks are like 15. I also took a look at his playoff averages. In the playoffs, his scoring goes up. He actually averaged 27.3, 10.3 rebounds, which is about the same as his regular. His assists go up, 2.8. Blocks, however, go down a little bit, 1.8. In the year that they were the champs last year, he averaged 27.7, 6.6, 3.5. So he's had 6 seasons where he had averages 10-plus rebounds of the 9, and 7 seasons of more than 2 blocks a game. So altogether, I thought he was worthwhile to stick at the end of my list, and hopefully he can continue pushing those numbers.
That wrap up your argument there, Uncle Doug?
Yep, for the time being.
All right. Wade, what you got, buddy?
When I was just thinking about Anthony Davis, just a great all-around player. Offensively, he can post up, he can drive to the basket, he can shoot mid-range, he can hit an open 3, he can actually shoot a free throw, unlike many big men that made our list. He's the all-around great defensive player on top of all that. He just won a championship as the team's leading scorer, rebounder, and best defender. So it's a pretty nice accomplishment. And even though he's a current player, so he doesn't have the time in the league as other players, he still has just as many, if not more, accomplishments than other players on our list. I believe we've talked about a few players that don't have 4 All-NBAs, or 8 All-Star appearances, or championship, or 3 block titles. So even though he's a current player, he has lots of accomplishments already. And I'll leave it at that for right now.
Drew?
Well, basically kind of what Wade said, to put him on my list. He's a good all-around player. He's good at defense. He's good at offense all over, down low. He can even shoot threes now, but he's not afraid to go inside and score as well. Shoot free throws. Most big guys can't do that at all throughout all of the NBA. Most of the time they just don't normally shoot free throws very well. And that's pretty much.
I mean, look at Giannis right now. He airballs half his free throws.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of the countdown thing, am I the only one that's really annoyed when they do that? Like, watching the game. Like, I have no rooting interest. I'm just listening to them count every time he goes to the line. I'm just like, can we stop this, please?
I mean, it doesn't accomplish anything. The refs aren't going to call it when they're counting. He's just going to give me more time, if anything. While they're counting, the refs aren't going to. When the crowd gets to 10, they're not going to blow their whistle because then they're just going to give it to the crowd. So if anything, they're just giving Giannis more time to shoot his free throws.
It's probably true, actually.
I never thought of it that way, but that's a good point, Drew. Yeah. Not that I want to make this a NBA Finals conversation. So, Ray, do you want to start off on the opposite side, or you want me to go?
Yeah, you go and go. I'll close it out.
All right. My opening statement is pretty simple here. In the very first episode, I came down on Kawhi pretty hard for not playing enough, and Kawhi has played more games than Anthony Davis. Kawhi also has more hardware than Anthony Davis. So I can't come down on Kawhi and not come down on Anthony Davis for the same things. But if I remember correctly, I do believe Uncle Doug and Drew agreed with me. So my question is, why Davis and not Kawhi?
I believe Davis has better numbers. Is why I did it. Kawhi was right there for me as well. But yeah, so that was why I made the decision.
Say Kawhi has the better accomplishments and stuff, but I think Anthony Davis has the better numbers. And it's easier, and the power forwards I think are a little bit weaker grouped than the small forwards, I would say. So it's easier for me to put on Anthony Davis than I would say Kawhi.
Okay.
Fair enough. Ray?
Okay. So mine's a little different argument. I think I'll title this the blind taste test. So get some whiteboards out.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, Wade's
I don't have a whiteboard.
There's one right here.
Yeah.
All right. Erase Westbrook.
Erase Westbrook.
Yes, Westbrook.
All right. I'm good.
Okay, so make 3 columns. Put A, B, and C at top.
Something all over.
All right, I'm ready.
All right.
Ready.
So we'll start with player A, and we're going to do, since Anthony Davis played 9 seasons, we're going to do 9 points. 9-point sections for each season.
Okay, interesting.
All right, so for player A, and this is just player A because if we go 1, 2, 3 back and forth, it's going to get confusing.
Okay.
So just player A for right now. Season 1, 19.9.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, 20.2. Season 3, 21.4. Season 4, 21.1. Season 5, 21.1. Season 6, 25.8. Season 7, 13.8. Season 8, 16.8. And Season 9, 14.5. And then at the end of this, we can choose. I'll let you guys choose which one's going to be Anthony Davis.
Okay.
All right. Player B. Season 1, 13.5. Season 2, 20.8. Season 3, 24.4. Season 4, 24.3. Season 5, 28 even. Season 6, 28.1. Season 7, 25.9. Season 8, 26.1. And Season 9, 21.8. All right. Player C. Season 1, 18.3. Season 2, 25.7. Season 3, 27.6. Season 4, 24.1. Season 5, I can't really read my writing, but we're going to go with, I think it's 20.6. Season 6, 22.5. Season 7, 24.5. Season 8, I think it says 15.9. And then Season 9, 27.5.
What happened in season 8
I don't know.
to player C? Like it's
I
like
would say probably
mid-
an injury or
I would
something.
say mid 20s for like 6 years, and then it's 15, and then back to 27.
Something major happened.
All right.
Oh.
So that's all 9 seasons.
Okay.
Which player is Anthony Davis?
B.
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 B. Okay. Now, these other 2 are on my list.
Okay.
Can you guess what those players are?
I need to look at your list real
Can we
quick.
look
I
at your
guess.
list and see? Maybe.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll give you time.
Is it the same, like power forward?
No, it's a shooting guard and a small forward.
Oh. Okay. Well, that complicates it a little bit.
And I'm only giving you the points because I'm not going to have the whole episode of me throwing down stats on a whiteboard. But, I mean, the rest of the stats are, I mean, I should have, well, we should have did it that way, but that's a long,
Is
drawn
one
out
like
process.
is one like Dominique?
No,
It's one Paul Pierce.
no,
Is one Reggie?
no,
Oh.
Chris Mullen?
nope,
James Worthy?
not it, nope.
Wow. No.
Struggle bus.
Oh, was one Grant Hill?
One is Grant Hill.
Okay. Is he A?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you see the decline after the first 5 years. After you look at it, yeah, I guess
You
you're
go from 25.8 to 13.8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
The other one was quite the score.
Yeah, he
You said
was.
what position was he? Shooting guard?
Shooting guard.
Is that Clyde?
No,
Is it Joe Dumars?
no.
So,
I feel like we
Only
guessed half the list.
Okay, well, I'll give it to you. Vince Carter.
there you go.
Oh, I looked at him and was like, no, but I didn't even think about it. All right.
So I did this comparison because of the 9 seasons, but also because Anthony Davis is a little injury prone. So I threw Grant Hill in there as a comparison because he had awesome stats up until season 7. Like his points is awesome. His rebounds was in at least an 8 rebound average. So, and his assists for 6 assists. So I mean, up to that 7th season, I mean, he's going neck and neck with Anthony Davis. And they were both kind of injury prone back and forth, so I was like, let's compare this one. Now we get to Vince Carter. He's more of a scorer. And at a certain point in his career, he started declining because he's getting old and injury prone a little bit himself. So I threw him in there as comparison. So, as this is the top 50 NBA players, I did a what's the word? I can't say it's a C word.
Collective?
We'll go with collective. That's good. A collective comparison instead of just throwing power forward, power forward, power forward. So, I want to kind of show you that there. And that's kind of the reason I don't have Anthony Davis on there. Y'all kind of, you liked my players that I have on the list, but you kind of dogged them for not having the stats at some point. But within these 9 seasons, I don't think Anthony Davis, has enough, leg to even be on anybody's list at this point. Maybe in a couple more seasons, maybe another title, maybe a finals MVP, maybe something more. But at this point, I compared him to these 2 players on my list, and I don't think he's got what it takes to be a top 50 at this point.
All right.
Okay.
Anybody on the other side got anything to say?
Oh wait, hold on. I got one more thing.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And the games. Let's see. Total games. What was Anthony Davis total games?
564.
Okay, and then I got Grant Hill at 482 for his 9 seasons, and Vince Carter at 541. So everything was pretty much evened out within the 9 seasons. So there you go.
They actually both played less games than Anthony Davis in those 9
Mhm.
seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you look at Grant Hill's, if you look at the numbers, Davis outscores him in 8 of the 9 years.
No, I
Was-
didn't. I know. I didn't say. I didn't say now that they overtake him. I just want to compare and throw that in there that, Anthony. I know Anthony Davis is good. I'm not denying that, but I'm just throwing it in there because I want to show you that he's got a little ways to go
Okay.
to make a list.
Well, and he is one of the younger guys that we've thrown in. Yeah. So, okay, I see that.
Here's the difference for me would be, one, Anthony Davis has won a championship, which is important, and he has, off the top of my head, I don't know Grant Hill's defensive accolades, but I know Vince Carter doesn't really have any,
Right.
and Anthony Davis has a lot.
4 times all defense, 3-time block
Block
champion.
There was a
champion.
couple years where he
So
came
the-
in second and voting for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, so it's the championship, the defensive accolades, and in a lot of these years, he outscores both of them. He's going to out-rebound both of them, out-block both of them, probably have a higher field goal percentage. Grant Hill might be close to them on field goal percentage on some of the years, but stuff like that. Honestly, steals. For a big man, he's great at steals, so he might even rival them in steals. It'd probably be close. I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah. I don't know. That was an interesting comparison, though.
You definitely had me fooled. I
Yeah.
didn't. I was racking my brain for power forwards, going, "Who the hell are these guys?" And then you're like, "They're not power forwards." I was like, "Well, I guess I was never going to come up with the guy." I guess.
No, I thought it'd just get spicy this time around.
All right, fair
Well,
enough.
definitely guys we like. I mean,
Yeah.
Grant Hill and
Yeah.
Vince Carter are both good guys to be compared to.
I think the big point that I took away from it was, I mean, I think now you guys can correct me if you three can correct me if I'm wrong, but in an Anthony Davis inclusion in the top 50, there's a lot of projecting going on. Because if his season ended right now, he probably doesn't make our top 50s because there's nothing more to add, obviously, because your career's over. And, I mean, it happened a little earlier, obviously, but Grant Hill was flat out dominant. I mean, we talked about it in that episode quite in depth, so I don't want to go back into that argument, but, he was super, super great for a while, and then his career was just decimated.
Yeah.
Well, I think a big thing with Anthony Davis is, I mean, there probably is some projecting, because I think we would all agree if he plays, I don't know, we'll say 8 or 9 more years, and he's still an all-star for a good chunk of that, his career stats are going to be really nice, and his totals will be a lot more impressive, like Uncle Doug was saying. But even if he retires right now, I mean, one, like we were talking about the other guys, he has a championship, which is really important. And his accolades do stack up against other players that we've talked about. I mean, this is just off the top of my head. I think, Rodman in the last episode had like 2 All-NBAs. I think McHale only had 2 or 3. These are all, I mean, players we all have on our list that I mean, that's just one thing in All-NBAs. But I don't know a lot of guys that have 3 block championships. I mean, I'm sure there's a few, but I think his accolades actually stack up, even if he does retire right now, against some other players on our list. And the championship definitely helps. Without the championship last year, I don't know if he makes my list, because the championships separate a lot of players. But
Well, I have a couple more things over here. I just have one stat to throw in here. AD has won less than 35 games more times in his career than he's made the playoffs.
Say that one more time.
AD, as in Anthony Davis, sorry, I should have said his name, has won less than 35 games more times than he's made the playoffs.
Okay.
So now, that being said, make a disclaimer here before I go on to the next part of my argument. I made this argument up like 5 weeks ago when we were originally supposed to record this. I did not do it recently, and you'll understand why I said that in just a second. My question is, why AD and not Giannis? And like I said, I made this before Giannis was even in the finals, more or less, playing the finals. While the Freak is almost 2 years younger than AD and played less seasons, he's played 25 more games than AD. Their career average stats are comparable, with AD winning points, rebounds, and blocks, while Freak wins assists and field goal percentage. That being said, over the last 4 seasons, Freak has completely outplayed him, winning points, rebounds, assists, and field goal percentage over that time. And as far as hardware goes, Freak dominates that argument with more All-NBAs, the same amount of all-defensive teams, plus a Most Improved Player, a Defensive Player of the Year, and 2 MVPs, which AD has none of those. And while being more successful in the playoffs as a number 1, I thought it was a fairly decent question.
Giannis would definitely be in the conversation, I think, now. When we did this, I probably wasn't thinking about him as much as he's in there now. But if he goes on and wins the title, he may very well make the list.
I would say if he wins the title and gets Finals MVP, there's a pretty good argument for him.
Good, yeah, I'm going to have to take a hard look at this list.
I think if Giannis wins this Finals and a Finals MVP, I think he should clearly make lists. But I made this before I put a Finals on there. I mean, it's really their numbers are really comparable, and Giannis has a lot more hardware than he does.
I think Davis's numbers were a little better, and he played a little longer. And that's
He's played more
why.
seasons, but less games.
Right, yeah. And I probably wasn't looking at the games. I was probably just thinking he'd been around. And I was iffy on putting Davis on for the number of years he's played anyway. But I thought, well, number 10, I'll put him in there. And like Wade said, he has done, the all-defense, the all-NBA. Of course, Giannis has good stats and stuff too. So, yeah, he's definitely somebody that needs to be considered.
Well, I didn't compare them because in my head, I don't have them playing the same position. I have AD as a center power forward. I have Giannis as a small forward. And he plays power forward, and he sometimes runs the point and does other things. But I personally don't have them playing the same position. And one thing that stuck out in my mind, say like before right now, is Giannis could dominate a game and then lose it for you in the last 3 minutes because he can't shoot a free throw or a 3. So you can foul AD and he'll make 80% of his free throws. Giannis will make 50% of his free throws.
Well,
and
I agree with you
that,
for the most part. Giannis is a 71% free throw shooter. AD is an 80% free throw shooter. But their 3-point percentage is actually very similar. One shoots 31% and the other one shoots 28%. They're both terrible 3-point shooters.
But AD, the majority of his game is mid-range shooting, not dunks.
Yeah.
That's Giannis's game, is dunks.
Yes.
And that's just what I was saying. You can't completely shut AD down in the last 2 minutes of a game because he can't shoot the ball. That was just the point I was making. Giannis, you can do that too. And there's certain players, Shaq didn't win until he got Kobe, because you could stop Shaq by putting him on the free throw line and making him shoot free throws. So we needed Kobe to start winning. And so players like that just, I don't know, have a little, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But
love?
That's just something that's...
Is it love?
Yeah. Something that stuck out to me anyway. But, Giannis might win a title right now, and then it'll change a lot of that.
Yeah, and none of you are Kendrick Perkins, right? None of you think he's the second best player on that team, right?
Who Kendrick Perkins said that?
Kendrick Perkins says that Chris Middleton is the best player on that team.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I think that I personally thought it was asinine. Like I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
No.
So I was hoping nobody else thought that.
I don't think
'cause,
any of us think that.
No, he's not
No.
Just because Chris Middleton's had a pretty good playoffs doesn't mean
Giannis is obviously the best player, but there are situations where Middleton is the most important player because at the end of games, he's the one that has to shoot the ball a lot of times.
Well, I don't want to make this a Chris Middleton argument, but I do have a stat that I thought was very consuming of that. They've played 23 games. The Bucks have played 23 games in the playoffs so far, and Middleton has scored 35 times, and the Bucks are 5-0 in those games. So it is important for Middleton to score. I'm not going to act like it isn't, but Giannis averages almost 35.
Yeah,
Like the consistency is what separates great players and good players.
and Giannis is also a rebounding machine too.
Mhm.
He has
He puts up
he is
crazy
a very good
rebounds.
rebounder. They're both good defenders, really. I don't think
Yeah.
Middleton's as good a defender as Giannis is, but they're both good defenders. Anyway, I don't want to make this up. Again, I keep going back to the finals. I apologize. It's just we're recording this as Game 6 is tomorrow.
Right.
So
That's valid. I mean, to talk about that's what's going on. Yeah.
Throw it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you consider Giannis a power forward?
yeah, I thought that's where he plays. I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, he does handle the ball a lot.
I wasn't really
mean,
sure,
but-
to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I see.
he
case
fluctuates.
for
He's played center a ton in this series, but LeBron handles the ball, and we call him a small forward. So I didn't.
Yeah,
I can almost see what Wade's saying though, because he's kind of like a Scottie Pippen-esque type of body frame and ball handler.
yeah.
If you look at Basketball Reference, under position for Giannis, they list power forward, small forward, shooting guard, point guard.
Yeah.
They list all four. So,
Interesting.
So I have a third portion of my argument, and I didn't know Ray was going to do one, so I apologize for doing two in the same episode. But I need you to get your boards out for a comparison.
Dun dun dun.
Just erase my board, too.
I'm glad mine's clean.
Yeah. All right, I just need player A and player B. Everybody ready? All right. Player A, 23 points per game. I'm sorry, excuse me, 24 points per game.
Here we go.
10.2 points per game. No,
Rebounds?
I'm still on. God damn it! I'm sorry, guys. We're still on player A. I was doing it like Ray did. I'll just go down player A. 10.2 rebounds per game. I'll try not to mess this up again. 2.3 assists per game. 1.4 steals per game. And I just did steals, right? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
And 2.3 blocks per game,
2.3 blocks.
while shooting 51%,
51%.
31%, and 80%.
So I'm guessing the 31 is 3-point
Yes, it is.
and 80 is free throw.
Yes, it is. Player B, 23 points per game. 11.6 rebounds per game. 3.0 assists per game. 0.8 steals per game. 1.4 blocks per game. 52.7 or 52, whatever. I don't know if I put the point on the last guy, so I don't know whether you should do that. Did I? Did I give you the percentage on the last guy?
No, you said
No,
51.
you just said
Okay, so
51.
so just 52 then. Sorry. 39% from 3 and 83% from the free throw line.
I guess I can't write an 8.
I can't speak, so I feel you, Wade. So this is not a perfect apples to apples comparison, but I do have a point behind this.
Can I
Sorry, go
guess
ahead.
who it is?
Yeah.
Is it Karl Anthony Towns?
It is Karl Anthony Towns.
Wow. Okay.
And
Yeah.
that was really good. Wait, how'd you know that?
I don't know. I just knew it, I guess. I don't know.
So the numbers are very comparable. Very, very close in most things. Points, rebounds, assists. AD is a little bit better in the defensive statistics. Towns shoots much better than he does from 3. And like I said, it's not an apples-to-apples comparison. Towns is pretty much a center, while Davis is a power forward that whines about playing center. And they, have been in a little bit different situations the last 2 years. But I guess my main point is we view these guys in completely different lights, even though they do similar things. And if one had been traded to play with LeBron because his agent forced his way out of town, or LeBron's agent forced his way out of town, then they're the same guy. They both are putting up big stats on a terrible team, and what's the difference?
That is a good point.
Do you want us to answer?
Yeah.
Oh, well, offensively, I mean, you could probably argue Karl Anthony Towns is probably maybe a little more talented, maybe.
I mean, he's a better shooter, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're very similar, both very good on offense. Main thing for me is just defensively. Karl Anthony Towns has gotten better, I think, a little bit on defense. He was very bad at it when he first came in, and he's still not great at it. And Anthony Davis is elite defensively. I guess being traded to LeBron, that turned his career around, and he's got a championship. But you can say that about a lot of players. They being drafted to great teams or
Yeah.
being traded somewhere.
Anthony
That's just
Davis-
kind of how it goes.
Anthony Davis still put up these numbers while playing with LeBron and everyone in LA, while Anthony Towns just does it by himself in Minnesota. So it's not like Anthony Davis really dropped off.
You
too
mean
much.
you don't put Wiggins on the same line as LeBron?
What do you mean Wiggins plays? Wiggins plays for the Warriors.
I mean, they played together for like 5 or 6 seasons.
Probably another big thing would be they did. I wouldn't say he is equal to the Lakers, but they tried to form a little tiny version of a super team with Towns, Butler, and Wiggins, and it did
we
not
just
go
said
well.
super team and Andrew Wiggins, but go ahead.
It did not go well. They thought it was a super team.
Yeah.
They
I
thought it
remember
was.
everyone was like,
What did Butler have to say about those guys after?
Yeah.
A lot of things we probably shouldn't say
Yeah,
on
I can't
air.
say on here.
I'll say that I want to get this out of the way.
And it didn't go very well. was my
Karl
point.
Anthony Towns is a bitch. Karl Anthony Towns comes across like a pussy. Karl Anthony Towns has been a huge disappointment since he came in the league.
You don't have to say his name every time.
Karl Anthony Towns.
He's letting us know, guys.
And he's one of those people that drives me up the damn wall because, well, for multiple reasons. First off, he has all the same skills Anthony Davis does. There's no reason he can't do, well, what anybody, name a player just physically more talented than Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, he can do everything.
Sabonis.
You got him on that one, right?
I can't believe we just went there.
If Towns had Sabonis' heart, where would he be?
Yeah, well.
He had half the players in the NBA.
Or if he, he just tried hard.
Mainly
That's-
on
that-
defense.
Yeah, exactly, on defense.
Right.
He'll the problem with Karl Anthony Towns is he goes out there, he'll score you your 25,
Get your
but he's going
11
to
rebounds.
give the other guy his guarding that too.
Right.
And here's the part that boggles my mind the most. All of us are old enough to remember, even Drew, when Karl-Anthony Towns was at Kentucky. What was he? He was their defensive stopper. He came off the bench and only played defense. He didn't touch the ball. He came out there and tried to block every shot that came on the court. And just ran and played hard and did all those things. That was his job at Kentucky. And then he came to the league and was like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Right. He completely changed.
Yeah.
I know, because when he came out, everybody thought he was going to do the things that Anthony Davis.
They came from the same school,
You
so
know.
they were just comparing them to each other.
They were
Right,
only a
yeah.
couple years apart in
Right,
school.
yeah.
It was
They
like-
thought he was going to turn the franchise around. And it's like he gets his and whatever.
Right. I don't get the Karl-Anthony Towns. So that was not me making a case the Karl-Anthony Towns should make a list.
Yeah,
I
know.
was just bringing up. They put up similar numbers and for the most part played on teams that won little games.
I mean, numbers wise, Karl-Anthony Towns can go up against a lot of people offensively.
Yeah.
Offensively, he's a monster.
Well, let's say Karl-Anthony Towns does this for 5 more seasons, and then he retires. So I don't know how many seasons he's played, but 6, 7 seasons probably. So he plays for 5 more. He has a 12-year career, and his numbers are even they go down slightly. So it's 22-10 instead of 23-11. Guys are going to look at it and be like, "Well, why didn't Karl-Anthony Towns do great things?" You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to look at these numbers and be like, 22-10 for a 12-year career? That seems pretty legit to me. I mean, so it's interesting to think about.
To make it worse, his partner in crime was Andrew Wiggins, who also played no defense for a long time.
Ricky Rubio for a
Here's-
couple of years.
Here's the thing that boggles me about Andrew Wiggins. Well, it doesn't boggle me. It just takes some looking at, I guess. Andrew Wiggins was like had the number one defensive rating in the NBA this year. And the Golden State raved about how great of a defender he was all year. It's all effort. Because Minnesota is a losing culture. No, apparently they don't care. Because when
Nobody
Jimmy
cares.
Butler came to town and was like, "Hey guys, we're gonna fucking play defense and we're gonna play hard and we're gonna do these things," they both cried to management and tried to get him thrown out of town.
Yeah.
Wiggins was a bad defender, and
Yeah.
literally, went to a winning, like you said, a winning culture with the Warriors, and
They said you're going to play defense or you're going to leave.
Dude,
Yeah.
you're a 6'8", freakishly athletic guy that has like a 7-foot wingspan.
Right.
You should be a lockdown defender.
Yes.
There is no... Yes, defense is predominantly effort. Anybody can be an average defender if they put out enough... I mean, not anybody. It's not like I could go to the NBA and be an average defender. But any NBA player can make themselves average on defense even if they have limitations physically. But if you're 6'8", freaky, 44-inch vertical or whatever he has, and twitchy, and have a 7-foot wingspan, there's nothing we can point to but your effort.
Right. Who can't you guard with that amount of talent?
Right. His rookie season, Dwayne Wade said it was the toughest guy to score on in the league.
It makes you really wonder what's going on in
It just
Minnesota.
shows you it's effort.
Right,
It's just
exactly.
whether you want to or not. Right there, it's just defense.
Right. Hey, our team sucks. I don't care anymore. I'm gonna score 20 tonight, and then I'm gonna pack it in. It's over. But I go to the Warriors where we have a chance to win something, and Draymond is screaming at me every time I don't pick up my defensive thing. Then I'll play hard today. Guys like that infuriate me, but I don't want to make this a Timberwolves
Wow, just 'cause-
podcast either.
Wow, you're getting motivated over Draymond?
Well, I mean, let's be honest though. If Draymond went to management and said this guy's not putting out effort, get him out of town, guess where you'd go?
I mean, that's
out of town.
I mean, you're true, but I
Probably
mean, it's
back
pretty
to
sad you're
Minnesota.
waiting on
And
Draymond to say something to you. That's pretty sad.
knowing Draymond, he's probably in the locker room saying a whole lot of something to
Yeah.
him if he's not playing.
And Draymond don't care.
He'll
Hey,
tell you anywhere.
Draymond wasn't scared to yell at Durant. You think he's scared to yell at Andrew Wiggins?
That's right. I mean,
So-
Wiggins probably either play defense or else.
Right, and it's not like he's not Steph Curry. It's not like
Right.
he's scoring enough that
Yeah.
you can be like, hey, take the night off on defense.
Or as soon as
we'll
you
pick you
As
up.
soon as you cross half court, you're in range.
Right, yeah.
He's-
Like,
and Steph Curry in big spots tries on defense. He's just small.
He at least tries.
yeah,
He'll try hard. He just can get picked on because he's tiny. But
he's small, and on offense, he makes himself look quicker than he is. He's an excellent ball handler, and everybody's so scared of his jump shot. It appears that he's quick. He's not overly quick. He's not twitchy, and that's why he struggles more on defense.
They're just
His-
right up in his grill, so he's not shooting threes on you all night.
yeah,
any NBA player can get past someone if you're worried about their jump shot. They're all
Yes.
that good.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Steve Nash made a career out of it, and I'm sure a couple of us could outrun Steve Nash.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah, we have a track star in the room.
That's true. You know, I mean, Steve Nash got by guys consistently for, what a 13, 14-year career.
I mean, Scalabrini was in the NBA for like 10 years. So, I
Hey,
mean,
Have you guys seen that stuff that Scalabrini does, the videos he makes?
yeah, where he challenges people and beats them.
Yeah. He lets anybody that's not an NBA player challenge him to one-on-one and has a video crew come in and just obliterates them.
One of the guys he did was a Syracuse basketball player, so a legit D1 basketball player. Beat him, was it 11-1?
Yeah.
And Scalabrini had the famous quote of, "I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me."
Yeah. And Scalabrini is, 43 now?
Yeah, he's in his 40s.
And he's just killing these guys. Like I said, there's been plenty of Division II, Division III basketball players, guys that are just as tall as him, sometimes 6'9", 6'10".
And they're like 20, 21.
Yeah, and they're in their early 20s, and he just kills. One time, he set up a tournament. He would play so many games a day. He's the only person in all the games. He plays in every single game, and he set up like a bracket. And he would play so many games, like 4 games in a day, and then come back and play 4 more, and only would allow himself 4 games a day, so they didn't just wear him out. But he would just went undefeated and won the tournament.
People don't understand how good NBA players are.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
And how physically dominant they, because Scalabrini is a large man,
Yes.
and whenever he wanted to, he just put his shoulder through the person and dunked it or put
No,
put in a layup.
that you're 100% right. Whenever he decides he needs a bucket, he goes to the post. And it's like boom, boom, bucket.
I mean, he
Yeah.
is he's like 6'8", 6'9", and he's
Yeah,
big.
yeah. I think he's listed at 6'9"
He's
on
a chunky
Basketball
guy.
Reference. Yeah. You
Was
know.
it the 2 I watched? Like there was some like high school players and stuff he did, but the guy from Syracuse, and he faced a guy that played professional overseas, and I think he shut out the guy overseas 11-0, and he beat the Syracuse guy like 11-1. And it was just like, yeah. And then he made that famous quote, "I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me." And it's like, ooh, rough.
Which he said, it's like his calling card now. Like he says it all the time now, that quote you just said. And it really made me think. And I'm like, he might be right.
Oh, he's
Like,
right.
Yeah. like, not that I'm trying to challenge LeBron to beat Brian Scalabrine in a game 1-on-1. That's not what I'm saying. But I mean, like, there was like a 10-year period for every year for 10 years. Brian Scalabrine was one of the best 400 players in the world.
Right, yeah. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're good enough to make the NBA, then there's something special there.
Yeah.
Even the bottom guys, I mean,
You got to think of how many different levels of basketball there is. High school and NAIA and D3, D2, D1, professional overseas, and then the NBA is the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and you make it to the top, you're a big dog.
Hey, everybody in this room knows at least a couple people that played Division I basketball. We all know multiple people that have played overseas and professionally played overseas. We don't know anybody personally that played in the NBA.
Nope.
And all the players that, like the best basketball players that we've ever seen in person outside of watching an actual NBA game,
Right,
the people we know are probably would get their asses kicked by Brian Scalabrine.
You're probably right. Yeah.
So, like, it's,
Yep.
that's just how it goes. So, who wants to put Scalabrine on their list?
He's got some years left in him. I'll wait and see what happens here in the future.
Anthony
Yeah,
Davis,
there you
who? I mean, what is he the one called is it the Red Mamba?
Red Mamba, yeah.
Or is that Bonner?
No, that's Scalabrine.
Is it him?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Scalabrine.
Yeah.
Red Mamba.
We should just all get his jersey.
Do they still make Scalabrine jerseys?
We can personalize one.
That's true. That's true.
I'll find it on eBay. White. I'll find it.
We'll do it. All right.
All right.
Don't
So
make any jersey you'll pay for.
I don't know. Does anybody else have anything to say before we go into opening or closing statements? I mean.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. So let's Ray. You want
I'll go
to
ahead.
close out?
Like I said before, I'm not denying he's got talent. He is really good. But show me a little bit more in the next few years. Win another title, or up the points, up the game a little bit or something. Get off the bench on an injury. Show me something more. But maybe then I'll put him on my list. But until then, I'm not denying he's got talent, but he's got a ways to go.
Anthony Davis, I'm not denying his talent until he pulled his shit to get to LA. I really liked Anthony Davis. I rooted for him to, I wanted him to do well a couple times when he did make the playoffs. So I don't have, I don't deny that he's really good. The games played, the seasons played. There's a reason he now has the nickname Street Clothes, and he just derailed a Lakers season with an injury. Not that I'm not saying he, attacked the team bus or something and derailed the season. He's not Conor McGregor, but I just mean like their season. He got hurt again and couldn't finish out the season. I think I said whether it was in a past episode or off air one night. Last year was a mirage. Anthony Davis had never done that before. He'd never played a season and not gotten hurt and, made it through the playoffs without getting hurt. He's left multiple playoffs injured. So him getting hurt this year, I think, was just a return to the norm, which is why I was surprised when LeBron picked him to be the guy to team up with this time, because LeBron in his past has gotten frustrated with guys getting hurt because LeBron never gets hurt. Now, that's not even true anymore. But, he as soon as Dwayne Wade started to break down, he left Miami.
I was saying Chris Bosh also there a year later, was it?
Yeah, I think it was a year later Chris Bosh had his heart. I don't think he could foresee that, but maybe they did know something we didn't. I don't know. But, but what I'm saying is, and then
He left Cleveland after Kevin Love and started getting hurt and Kyrie left.
Yeah. And so then I was surprised when he picked a guy that was already injury prone to team up with. But anyway, I'm not saying Anthony Davis can't be on my list or won't be on my list in the future. I'm just saying I just don't think I can put him on right now because of his lack of playing.
I think you guys both make good points because for me, him being my 10th guy, usually it's an old guy. So this time I went young guy. And I see what you're saying because I've made the same argument about people I'd like to see a little more. And so I understand these are fluid lists. Things may change, especially depending on how the finals go. We'll decide where Giannis fits in all this. But for me at this point, I'm like you. I liked Anthony Davis in college. I liked him when he came in to the NBA, and I didn't mind so much him going to LA because that was my team. So yeah, I kind of liked Anthony, and again, I like the scoring and the defense. I like when you get a guy that'll do both. Put the effort out there.
Well, kind of like I said earlier, I think already his accomplishments can stack up against players that played a lot longer than him. So I think that's impressive. Like Uncle Doug said, the defense. I love defense, and he got a championship, which is kind of the separators usually for me anyway. And I think his all-around talent's just pretty amazing. We have a lot of guys on our list that have never averaged 28 and 11 and 2.5 blocks or 2 blocks. And he still has an opportunity to do a lot more. But I think he's done quite a bit already. But that's why he's on my list.
basically what my dad and Wade said. I think he's a good all-around player, offense and defense. Like Ray and Alex said, with his injuries being a little bit, I've knocked Kawhi for that. We all know. But I think he's accomplished a lot of things that, like Wade said, other people who've played longer haven't. And he has a championship, which is important. Doesn't have the Finals MVP, yes, but I think in some of his defensive stuff, I think they're some of the best defensive players that we've talked about on this podcast. So,
And another thing that kind of popped in my head with Anthony Davis, he was ragged on all year for having a bad year, and he averaged 22 and 8. So I mean, that talks to his skill level. But yeah.
Well, I said that earlier in the year. Anthony Davis was having a down year, but I think once you reach a certain level, I think other guys have seen this recently, Giannis included in that. Once you reach superstardom, you're judged as a superstar. You're not judged as just a guy that makes all-star games anymore. Like, you're judged differently. So when you average 5 less points and 3 less rebounds, everybody's like, well, what's wrong with you?
Oh no, I was just talking about how overall talented he is.
Yeah, he is super talented. He's one of the most talented players in the NBA.
Like when you average 22 and 8 and people are upset that you're having a down year, that's pretty impressive. Like, that was just all I was saying. But yeah, we can wrap it up.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all I got. I was just saying.
Alrighty, well, that wraps up the Anthony Davis portion of our episode, which will lead us into trivia.
I got my question.
Drew has his question.
My TikTok will be said while you guys are answering your question, because it goes along with my question.
Okay.
Sort
I
of.
need to erase real quick, so hold on.
I've been waiting for a month now to say this TikTok. I've been telling my dad at home. I'm ready to tell them all this because it's funny.
Yeah, I don't know, man. My favorite TikTok so far has been the Bengals one.
Well, it's a football one again.
Oh, okay.
It's not the Bengals.
Oh God.
Oh, is it one of our teams?
No, it's the,
Oh.
it's the Lions.
I was going to say, it's going to be a
Here,
shot
Alex.
at the Eagles, isn't it?
Hey, Alex,
Well,
have the biggie.
Well,
roster.
I did see something today. Someone bet $4,000 on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl.
$4,000?
Yeah, I saw that today.
I hope they're rich, because
It was secretly Alex.
no, it was not.
Yeah. He stole money from Chaddock and.
Don't put that out in the airwaves.
Are you listening, Becky?
I know Mark is. Biggie usually does.
Are we ready for the question? Everyone's board's clear.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. What NBA team in 18 straight seasons won 50-plus games?
So 8 straight seasons.
18.
18
Yeah.
straight seasons
With
of 50 games.
Yeah.
Okay, I got mine.
All right. My TikTok is the Detroit Lions have had more Madden covers than they have playoff wins since 1991.
So
Wow.
They got Barry
and
Sanders.
Megatron.
Yeah, back-to-back years of 13
I forgot
14.
because Barry got that anniversary
the
one.
25th anniversary one, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I figured you guys would.
I do like that.
That is
nice.
good. That's a good one. Picking on
Alright.
the Swallow Dwellers from the NFL here on Sports the Nemo Way. I got my answer, by the way.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right. Well, already.
Ray, you got yours?
Yep.
Okay. How about the Spurs?
I put the Spurs.
I went Lakers.
I said
It's
Spurs.
the Spurs. The Lakers were next with 12.
Everybody but
So
old
they
Uncle
have
Doug.
6 more.
Yeah, no one else.
Wow.
It's the whole Duncan Popovich era.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that's true.
I knew that, but I thought somebody would be closer than that.
Yeah,
6
I
seasons.
thought-
No, the
away.
next
yeah.
the Lakers from like 71 to.
I figured the old Celtics teams would.
I thought about Celtics and I
They have-
thought about Lakers.
Their run was pretty long. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
They had 13 years of Russell, so I'm sure they had 50 wins a decent amount of times in there. But the season after Russell retired, it was a bad season. So I'm sure that ended it, whatever they had at that point.
Gotcha.
So I got that. Wade got that.
Ray got it.
And Ray got it. Okay. Ray is on a roll, man.
2 weeks straight, baby. Well, not 2 episodes straight.
There
We'll
you
just say
go.
that.
Yeah. All right. Who's going to go next?
I can go.
All right.
What pick in the draft was Giannis?
Oh Lord.
I've got mine.
I haven't had a phone for like 3 weeks. So I literally have to do my trivia just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
All right, I got to guess.
Yeah, I gotta guess.
I have no idea. Okay.
Yeah, 15.
Okay. Everybody
I said
else?
7.
I said 5th.
59th.
It's not 59th. It's 15th.
Oh.
I actually was listening to a podcast on the way here, and it was all about Giannis, and they talked about where he was drafted, so it was pretty fresh in
Ooh.
my head.
Well, that's cheating.
All right, I'll go ahead and do mine.
All right, here we go, Ray.
Which team set the league record by losing 26 games in a row?
Can you tell us when?
No.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Ugh.
Okay, I got mine.
I have two teams.
I got one.
I don't know which one.
Oh.
I got to guess.
Yep, I'm good.
All right.
1 second.
I put the
All right.
Grizzlies.
Knicks.
Put the Bobcats.
Ooh,
Kings.
Good guess, Wade.
And none of you are correct.
Oh.
In 2010, 2011, it was the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Lost 26 games in a row.
Well,
So didn't the
I don't-
Rockets this year lose like 20?
I think it was 19.
19. I knew they lost a bunch.
I'm pretty sure the Bobcats only won like 8 games in a whole year. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, but it was in a strike-shortened season,
Mm.
so I don't know how they calculate all that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Who's next?
I'll go.
All right.
All right. 2017 AD Anthony Davis was the All-Star MVP after scoring how many points? It was also the scoring record at that time for the All-Star game.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Well, I gotta guess.
Okay.
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 I put 37.
Put 52.
46.
42.
Wade got it. 52.
52 points in an All-Star game.
Yeah, go Wade.
I don't know how you get enough shots in an All-Star game to score 52.
I know.
Well, normally the final scores are 210, like
Well,
190.
that's a fair point. And most of them are wide open shots, so or
Like-
dunks.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, so that just leaves me, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So my question is, who now leads the NBA playoffs in assists? Silence.
You mean
Silence.
all-time playoffs or just
No,
this year's?
This year's playoffs.
This year's
Sorry.
playoffs.
This
Okay.
year's playoffs. Who leads this year's playoffs in assists?
Okay, I got my answer.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
Ray, who you got?
Chris Paul.
I got Drew Holiday.
It is Drew Holiday.
Oh,
be-
go Wade.
I'll be damned.
Now, it surprised me. That's why I asked that question. But then I thought about it. Chris Paul's missed like 4 games
well, yeah,
that's true.
because he
Yeah.
had his injury and then he had got to go in
Okay,
protocol.
COVID, yeah, he
And
went
so-
in the protocol.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Drew Holiday's had some big assist totals recently, like
Yeah.
13, 14, stuff like that.
All right. And after this week, the scores are as follows. Ray with 16. Uncle Doug with 29. Alex with 30. Drew with 32. And Wade with 39. So Wade, I do believe, extended his lead there because
I got
you got multiple points
I
there.
got,
got
I got
three.
3
3 points.
if you counted them all.
Yeah. So Wade extends his lead, unfortunately, for the rest of us. And that will wrap up the Anthony Davis episode. We appreciate your listen, and please tune in next week for the John Havlicek episode, or Hondo, as he's called. And thanks again for tuning in.